So, and because we don't have music, you're going to hear me chew once in a while. But I hope you guys are doing well. The Toyota Crown. There's some pretty strange things about this car that I have to check out. I wasn't able to check them out because I got this car in the evening. Yeah. So let me just show you. Let me just hide my fruits. Let me hide more of my fruits. Come on. Let me hide more of my fruits and put this water down here. Yeah. So in this humongous ride, yeah, that's a Toyota Crown. Yeah, pure luxury. Yeah. Actually, when people are seeing you, it feels like it's more luxurious. Like when you guys are looking at me, it feels like this car is much more luxurious than it is when I'm in this car alone. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a review on this car later today, and I'll upload the video today. So some of the things that you cannot see here, you guys are going to see in the thing kind of open like this here. So the things that you guys will not be able to see now, I'll show you in the review. It has cruise control, it has traction control, it has sport mode and normal mode. Yeah. And the only downside with this car is that we don't have Bluetooth or flash. So that's why we don't have music. For us to be able to listen to anything, we'll have to kind of listen to radio. Like I was listening to CBS as I was coming in the morning. Let's see. So we have, just like that, we have another presenter in here. But I want us to have some fun. And when we can, I'm going to make sure we have some fun for you to feel how the Crown moves. So the Crown has the same engine as the Mark X. Although I found this one to be running a little too rich, I'll explain that later. But today is Market Tuesday, guys. Tell us about your businesses. Tell us about your products, services. There are just times when I want to just enjoy. It's a double barrel. For the guys that understand what a double barrel means, it means a car that has two exhausts. So yes, it gives us some considerably good horsepower. And that's a Kaluku movie video. Akakamoro ka Anthony Yabwagala. Anthony Yagalo Mudokobo. That car thing can just stop breaking out of the blue. Just like that. So we don't have music today. Sorry, I'm going to be talking and blabbering all through the entire broadcast because we don't have music. God help me. Have I ever done this where we have no music at all? I remember when we were starting the broadcast, I used to play some reggae music as well. And then copyright issues came in, and then I had to stop playing the reggae music, and then I started playing my own music. And yeah, let me call the producer. We are supposed to have a song out by the end of March. Yes. By the end of March, hit. So, you see, one thing I liked about this Crown, and probably the bigger cars that I've driven, is the stability on the road. Yeah. This car is quite stable on the road. It is very, very, very stable. You know why he's giving the car in front of him that big distance? It's because his car can stop breaking out of the blue. I've ever driven that car thing. Just kati abaye wa distance I've noticed wagenda atomerere pavement zaka karuko mubiri toka nyongera, but you can change the braking system and you make them all disc. Yeah, good morning Muyombia Mark, Kariejire Amos Luke, JFK Arts, Lawrence Omure, Jovan Mugume, Louis, Moses Adams. Let me just put SC. Wait, not duo. Let's put it at 25 degrees centigrade. Moses Adam Sumuhimbise, Ivan Nakate Christine, Peter Mangeni Petero, Ronald Muchwa. So that's how long this crown is. Yeah? Juma Ali, Paul Sema VIP, Divine Tours and Travel, or Yvamwise Kutesa David. Kwikiriza Maria, good morning. For the guys that don't know, I'm in the Toyota Crown. I'm still trying to learn a lot of things about this thing. So we are running an engine that is bigger than the Kaundo in front of us. But I'm thinking we're consuming the same amount of fuel because this one is not as... Amanyo gaulida. Hey, I can feel the power. So I drove this thing home. And I drove it from home again today. Unfortunately, we cannot feel the power like on these roads, yeah? Because we're actually supposed to be doing 30 kilometers per hour, yeah? And yeah. Ronald M. Cassandra VIP, Asha, Baz UG, good morning. Lukumbiri Obumu, Zikira Arthur. Akukabaka Rwadde. The biggest problem of the Lukumbi is the braking issues. Now, for starters, remember how yesterday Julius Ivan VIP, good morning. Remember how yesterday I told you the owner of this crown wants to actually like trade me. I give them the practice, they give me more money. Mama Abane Ajigobye. Yajigobye nga yakajitula namu. Nagamba Haractis is more comfortable. Bichi. Kugamba yo crown baji ngobeza. Angambe okujja kunga njugulanga it's a second car nganze njevuga lwenjagala. Nganjevuga lwenjagala. So you feel the power, guys. Katwano Subaru senge kubawa amasati pa. Ngo waiseko. Guys, today is Market Tuesday. Tell us about your business, products, and services. I'm going to be talking about the impact of branding in the next 20 years. We have been talking about branding so many times, but we have not talked about how branding impacts how your business is going to do it 20 years time. How branding is going to impact sales 20 years from now. You see, a brand is very important. And normally when I ask people what a brand is, they'll tell me that it is the thing that is differentiating you from your competition. Unfortunately, that answer is not wrong, but it's actually wrong. A brand is how people feel about your product, services, or you yourself. If people feel positively about you, excuse me, if people feel nicely about you, the crown turns heads. If people feel like they feel good about you, then you have a strong brand. Network etsumbuwamu ne MTN olwaleero. So we are talking, and I'm saying that if people see you positively, people see you as a good service provider, your product as good, you yourself as a good person, then your brand is, they say bad things about the weak brand, yeah? And that's not something you want to go through. So we are talking about this from now. Now, 20 years from now will be, because 10 years from now will be 2035. So 2045. If you have started building a business today, Amina Joseph Trina, good luck, my brother. Jerisha Motors, good morning. Up the screen to give us light now. And we were talking about how how Ugandans normally open businesses and like 6 months, 1 year, they are closed down. Yeah. And then the next year they open another business with another business name, another logo. Yeah. Let's say just a new identity. A brand, you cannot build a brand, you cannot do branding unless you have identity. The identity, for example, for Toyota, let me get close. The identity for Toyota is that logo on that Vitz. Kalogo ka Toyota ukarabi. That silver thing below the wiper and above the key thingy. That's the identity for Toyota. And the one on the left is the identity for Vitz. Any Vitz that's a Vitz will have that word Vitz. Any car that is from Toyota will have that logo there. The logo is how we identify that this product is made by Toyota. Okay? Now, normally when we ask people for branding, they will think that the colors, the name on that petrol station there, Starbucks, is what we call branding. But branding is an entire effort that a business puts in. Is all the effort that a business puts in, both short and long term, to make sure that the people that it targets think about the brand positively. That the people perceive the brand positively and not negatively. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So, chonache chiri, whatever you do, your goal is going to make sure that all the effort you invest in your business is a branding effort. Amanyi gonna go take them for grabanga, you're working for your brand. So that 20 years from now, you don't struggle making sales. So that 20 years from now, you don't struggle being identified. You get all the brands that we admire, all the brands that we look up to. You see that logo, the Subaru logo? That logo is more than 40 years old. You get it? It's more than 40 years old. And these guys have been investing effort, they have been investing product, they have been investing marketing material, they have been doing all the efforts in order for them to, let's just feel the power a little. Woo! Woo, woo, woo! Woo! One thing I like about the Crown, at least this particular one that I'm driving, it's not only stable, but the brake system is intact. A Sibirawo, just like that. Ochirabi, just like that. So I'm going to give you an example. Like I think I want to say 10 years ago, when Lato Milk came into the market, no one knew. We thought it was just a smoker brand, someone trying to make sense of business. Nobody knew that the owners of the Lato brand were actually big people. I heard that Lato Milk belongs to Rwabogo. I think he's a son-in-law to Yoweri Museveni, the president, yeah? And nobody knew that that milk brand belonged to such a big person in government at that time. So at that time, all we saw was like a brand that was struggling to make it. Right now, Lato is very easily recognizable. It's the Ugandan brand that, it's the only Ugandan brand I think that has powdered milk that is branded at least. Yeah, so it's very easy to, we just see the word Lato and their blue colors and you would know that that's Lato milk. Even their packaging is very easy to recognize. And it's also hard for duplicators to duplicate. And some of these brands are now making their branding material not from Uganda. They are making most of the branding material from India. Yeah. So it's hard for us to kind of duplicate. So we are talking about the X. You see the X in the mark X? That is branding for the Toyota Mark X. Wali Mark X, Mark X is for the guys that I've seen. It's an estate. Mass or Mark X. I think even the Fielder has its own logo. The Fielder logo is not very clear. Even the Alpha logo is not very clear. But you realize that on all Toyota cars, there is the Toyota logo, but there is also the particular product logo. At one way to get differentiating Pepsi as a brand, because Pepsi is their flagship product. Yeah, and so they have the Pepsi branding, and they have worked on this brand for a very long time. Now it's popular, so they keep on developing products, like how they developed. They have this water, then they developed Mirinda, then they developed 7-Up, they came up with Mountain Dew. You get it? All these are products by Pepsi, and Pepsi is the mother company. Yeah, but they also have brand managers for each of these other brands. The brand managers have a duty to make sure that 20 years from now, Mirinda can stand as a brand through the benefits of actually building a strong brand, so that you understand and start working towards it. I'll give you an example. We have Henry Modern Juice. Henry Modern Juice makes juice for functions. Yeah, he has been working at it for like the past 4 years. For the past 4 years, Henry Modern Juice can be recognized by a number of people as a person that makes good juice, different flavors. Yeah. Now, everything Henry has invested in his work, every day he has been moving. When he makes company t-shirts, when he brands his juicing machines, when he brands his bidomora, all those are efforts to make sure that people remember Henry in a certain light. Now, if Henry decided to start making his own brand, his own jerrycans, design they are easily recognizable. Henry Modern Juice, even without the Henry Modern Juice logo. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. When Resale Mineral Water goes and makes their own bottle, you can recognize it from Mfano Gamba Kakachupasika Resale. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. All those are efforts to make sure that the brand can stand 20 years from now. So Henry, apart from you printing stickers for your coolers, apart from you na bengeje ute kona ojira ngeri utam uya school zone. So Henry, apart from you printing stickers and t-shirts, you need to be able to create certain communications that work for your branding efforts 20 years from now. Which some of the brands that could have been very powerful that failed to work on this were Macarena. You know those guys that sell pancakes, Macarena, those guys that have those Suzuki Jimneys and they sell pancakes from there. That could have been a very powerful brand. But the issue is these guys did not know what it meant to create a good brand, a strong brand. They did not know what branding even is. There was a certain time I heard in stories that the Macarena guy was exporting pancakes abroad. He was making pancakes here in Kampala, and everyday pancakes would be put on a plane and shipped either to the UK, to the Netherlands. You get, that's how powerful that guy was. But because he did not put in effort to actually brand his business, then that's how it stays there. And right now you can hardly recognize. There are people that are selling pancakes in Mubibo along Mawanda Road there. That could have been a market that he would have targeted. Now someone will tell you that, but this business is not so profitable. If it's not so profitable, how come the dad did the same business and then the kids also did the same business? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It means it's profitable. The dad was able to take the schools, feed them, build a home and houses from Macarena business. The kids are literally doing the same thing. So how are you telling the world that it's not a profitable business? It's definitely a profitable business. So now, some of the things that you can do to make sure that your brand is something else. You've heard that Pepsi has invested more than, I think it did over $9 million to redesign their logo. Do you know why they put in that much effort? Because the logo has to mean something. The logo has to communicate something. Those are not logos. You cannot explain it. So it doesn't have a story behind it. You need to be able to have now that's, you see, that Subaru that went, the sedan. Now that's one of the comfortable ones. Chino comfortable, chino chirigas. Eri before eri comfortable. Let you know the but the before is something else. So we want to have, first of all, you don't just come up with colors and say my color is going to be blue. It has to have a reason why the color is blue. You cannot just come out and say my logo is the letter U. It has to have a reason why it's the letter U. I don't know if you know get what I'm saying. That's why when someone is designing a logo for you, they'll ask you, okay, what should I know? What is the philosophy behind your business? What are we looking for? What's our mission? Blah blah blah. And then the logo designer gets to learn what your business is about, and then they can design a number of logos or 3 to give you a feeling, to give you exactly what you need. And then we have typography. That's like the fonts that are used. It's important that typography also communicates not only you and your internal customers, also your external customers. And then we have colors. The colors, you don't just pick a color. Yeah, you have to have a story behind the color, a reason behind using that color. And then you cannot just use symbols. Symbols have to stand for something. They have to mean something. They have to mean something. They have to mean something to your audience. I'm trying to get this light to work. So you guys, this car was made for the Japanese royal family. It even has an emergency button here to call the ambulance. In the review. It has something here to call the ambulance. Yeah. It's and it's made. I'm going to do the review when I'm being driven. So it's just something else. So we are still talking branding, guys. Very serious. So we are talking branding. So all the efforts you make, you see, I'll give you an example of Mercedes-Benz. Now, when Mercedes-Benz is making their cars, they have a certain attention to details, to the curves that the cars have, to the material that they have. You get it? I hadn't noticed I put this thing in. This car has swinging AC. It has a swing. I'll show you in the review. It swings left and right. Of course, if you make it do that, it swings left and right, left and right, left and right. But do you guys notice the noise cancellation that this car has? You guys, the network is also bad today. MTN. Do you notice the noise cancellation this car has? You're almost not hearing them. Yeah. And I love how the seats kind of like just engulf you like this. To open the boot, you just press a button. To open the fuel tanker, you just press a button. I'm going to show you these things in my review later. So we are still talking about branding, guys. You build a business today. You want to make sure that you understand what your story is. You want to make sure that you understand why your business exists, what you're looking for. There's what we call the brand mission. Yes, there's a business mission, but there's brand mission. Mirinda has a brand mission. Mountain Dew has a brand mission. Fanta has a brand mission. Sprite has a brand mission. Nile Special, Pilsner. Each of those brands has a mission, why they exist as a brand, to do what. For example, Nike has as their brand mission to inspire and innovate, to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Now, but Nike believes that every person in the world is an athlete. Everyone is an athlete. In the Arthur, Henry, Guani, also an athlete, because each one of us has to run, each one of us will lift weights, and how do they innovate? They innovate by creating, for example, shoes, accessories for athletes. Arthur should be able to put on the Nike shoe and run comfortably, just the way Nzikuru should be. You get, they create gloves that are good for everyone that is going to do sports, yeah? And kyekimotoka mu Subaru, ekyo ekimotoka kiri comfortable, ekyo kibiffe ekyo kiri comfortable. Matthew just, I cannot advise you unless I've seen the car. There must be a reason that you can see. If you say there are no holes, then there is a reason why. But every time you step on the accelerator, you're supposed to have increase in sound. I don't know what exactly you're saying. Let me give you an example. This one. There's an increase in the sound still. There's still no holes on the exhaust. So anyway, we are talking still about Nike, how it innovates their brand athlete in the world. Tebagadde nkole broadcasting amuntu n'olidde bano abantu. But regardless, we move. Gano maanyi ogawulira amaanyi naye olaba okusiba. Okusiba kw'okulabyo bansinikire muli ebennyo. Kanetwork kakusumbuye. Sorry, the sound is not normal. Are you sure, guys? A bit high because the microphone is near me. Let me see what to do. Let me just move the microphone from here. But where do I put it now? You know, that's my challenge. I don't see any other place to put the microphone. Let me see. We're gonna take a vibe. Guys, I don't see any other place to put the microphone apart from the place where it was. It's the most appropriate. That's the most appropriate place to put the microphone, guys. Do you guys feel the noise cancellation in this machine? It's not like the Raxis. I'd be feeling all those motorcycles driving by. But I can't even hear them. So the sound is a bit high. I don't see right. It's probably a bit high because I don't have music in here. Let me just put it back. We have no option but to leave it there. So we are talking about branding, guys. You see how Nike has that mission and they try to always make sure that the mission is fulfilled. If you open a business today, I'm going to give you an example of how Safe Border started. Safe Border started very humble. This guy, rapper, used to move tourists around on borders. And then he called them Safe Border. And then he got investors. When he got investors, he designed an app. When he designed the app, the app gave you the ability to order for a border that is safe, and it comes to your location, yeah, and takes you wherever you want at a charge that is fair, yeah. And now, because he did that, he could make a commission off of the every trip that a border guy made. He made a commission, which I think started from about 20%, 10% to about 20%. Okitegeera ono byavuga tabimanyi muviiridde ayingire dda ayina emulemi okuyingira kasisigale eyo gy'oyagala. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And then he made sure that the border would be safe. He even gave us helmets, reflector jackets, and then he made sure that the riders rode safely, and he made sure that they respected traffic laws. He made sure that at traffic lights they would stop. He made sure of all those things, yeah. And because of that, people trusted him. Musare. Okay. So he made sure of that. And because of that, he won the trust of many Ugandans. Safe Border was for a very long time a very strong brand, one that could be recognized. And there is a time, I reached a time as a senior border, Italy Safe Border. I would take safe borders, even when they were more expensive. I still took safe borders because I knew these guys would ride much more carefully. They gave us a promise, and they made sure to fulfill it at least for some time. They made sure that for that period, at least, they would make sure we got borders that were safe, and we did, yeah. And then they made sure they took their border riders through trainings, where they would learn how to make sure that they ride people very safely. And for some time that stood. And they also made sure, and they also made sure that after the trainings, they kept monitoring these guys. They even had spies at traffic lights to make sure was safe border taita kuchitala. And they would disqualify people. And because the system was working for both the riders and the passengers, safe border was big for a very big time. And you realize that for safe border almost had 20,000 up to 50,000, I think 50,000 riders subscribed into the app. That was a big number. Like at that time, there is no way you would move through town and jacket your safe border. Like here now, these will all be safe border guys. But where did they go wrong? They forgot their promise. To the riders, the border people, they made a promise to help them make money. They took away the stage, the border stage. Bajijao. Nebagamba gobo oliwa border, come and subscribe to Safe Border. Nebo bera waka wo, where yingire kubo, you'll get an order. So for a very long time, they made that promise. But where they stopped making the promise to the rider is that they started wanting to take a very huge commission. Now, when you take a huge commission, you're taking money from the pockets of these border riders. Chokanga ate amateka gasigara gachali wo. Like these guys were adhering to the rules of Safe Border because they were making good money. Now, when they stopped making good money, it did not make sense for them to adhere to the rules. And that's where, okay, and that's where Safe Border started losing borders. And when you start losing borders, you start losing riders as well. You start losing what? Riders. And you start losing passengers. And just like that, other border apps came in. Faras came in. Now Faras is almost taking over. So that's how Safe Border lost market share in Kampala. You get? And I don't know what happened with Safe Border trying to take advantage of government, and yeah. But you know, I've already talked about this some time ago. So Safe Border gave us a promise and fulfilled the promise for some time. And because they fulfilled that promise for some time, they were winners. You remember that? So now, how can you do that? You start a business with a goal. You start a business with a goal. And when you build a brand, when you start building a brand, you give it a mission. You say, we exist to make this happen. Now, your goal is going to be to make sure that you fulfill the promise. As long as you fulfill the promise, you're going to retain customers. You're also going to get new customers. You're going to get referrals. Now, what happens 20 years from now depends on what you do right now. One, you want to make sure, for example, if you're Henry Modern Juice, you have to make sure that if Arthur starts his own juice company, there is no way someone is going to mistake Arthur's juice company for your juice company. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You're going to create a brand identity. There is no way someone will mistake that car Sienta for a Subaru any day. We all know it's a Toyota Sienta. There is no way someone will mistake a Bajaj for a TVS. Because Bajaj made a very good effort in making sure that their borders are distinct as a product. But so did TVS. You get it? It also made sure that part of their branding efforts is making sure there is ready spare in the market. Era spare wa Bajaj ya single obungi. To the extent that some other motorcycle makers now are making sure their motorcycles can use Bajaj motorcycle spares. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So that is what is happening. Every effort you make is going to influence how people see you now and later. And when people see you positively, now, and you keep the promise, 20 years from now, your sales are just going to be increasing. Very, very little effort from you. However, if you don't work on your branding now, 20 years from now, you'll be struggling to work on your branding and your sales will be going down. And businesses that work on their brand and keep it, and they keep their brand consistent and their brand message and working on their promise, they will definitely have customers. Let me give you an example of a brand that exists in Kampala that I have no idea what they stand for. And it's a big brand. Let me see over in a branch one. It's a brand called Banana Phone. Everyone in Kampala knows Banana Phone World, yeah? The Banana branch one, I think. Now, Banana Phone World is a big store that sells mobile phones. Yeah? In the beginning, it felt like they were selling high-end phones. In the beginning, when I saw the shops, then it diluted. Then it started putting Technos, Infinixes, it has Oppos, it has, you get it? And then eventually they started giving out phones on credit. We have no idea what they stand for. For you to create a brand that is so that people understand that you stand for that, and if they ever think about that particular thing that you told about you. Okay, if you have competition, maybe they will think about the competition, but they have to be able to think about you. Because you already told them, guys, this is what I stand for as a brand. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So for you to make sure that your sales not only just increase, but they stay consistent increasing, or even never decrease in 20 years from now, you need to start building your brand now. Because brand building is something that doesn't take 2 years. It takes a very long period of time, which is why businesses businesses that have had a consistent to make sure that they fulfill their promise. So brand is one. I'll give you an example. MTN has pushed a message from Dubai. The network might be poor, it might be shaky. Sometimes you might lose the voice, but Airtel doesn't go there in MTN simply because Airtel. They have made us that promise, and they have made sure to fulfill the promise. Everywhere you go, MTN will be there. You get. On the other hand, Airtel has had some inconsistencies in their. It's a smartphone revolution. Almost everyone has a smartphone. Okitegeera. Like nebo sanga omuntu owa boda ye gaali aba ina kama pesa ke naye nga ina neki aina ne smartphone. So Airtel is telling you that they are the smartphone network. Nebo bo ingira ntebe ku kisaawe, they'll still tell you that they are the smartphone network. So that's what they are pushing. They just have to make sure that everything that is smart about phones is about Airtel, or that Airtel is going to make sure. Yeah, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, because MTN has stood the test of time. If you start a brand and you're going to tell us that you're all about affordability, you have to make sure that you are all about affordability and make sure that you stay there. After I took a deep meaning to I took the deep meaning of sticky, meaning that I must stick to at least to a task and get it done. Now, in my case, my passion is events, and that's where the meaning comes from. Starch events. And now, starch events, you need to give us a promise. That's a promise to you. But fenga customer abo nafa bakuwagira, you need to promise us something, and also make sure that you stick to it. For us to be able to give you events gigs 20 years from now, or your company, you need to stand for something and stay there. Like Phenon has made sure that they innovate in the events sector. Nti basigala bakuwa buli mwaka balina ekipe kye baleeta mu mataala mu sound and all that. So awo ku stage bamaanyi. They have made sure they stick to that. So every time you think of a concert, you're going to think Phenon events. You're not going to think Boroza Kubebi Vulu, probably Abitex will come, Ketty will come, all those guys will come. But because they have not made a promise to us, maybe they have made a promise to the musicians or something, but because they have not made a promise to you, you're probably not going to think about them. So 20 years from now, a strong branding is going to impact your business positively if you have put in positive efforts. And it's not going to give you a positive effect if you have not put in a lot of effort. So whatever you do, starting now, especially you guys that have opened businesses, or gamba njagala n'abaana bange business eno wagiriemu, this is the time for you to create a brand. This is time for you to put in the effort to promise people something and deliver. You deliver something consistently for 3 to 5 years. The next five years, the people you delivered consistently to are going to keep telling people about you. And after the 10 years, the people you delivered to for the past 10 years, even when some of them got angry, even when some of them were disappointed, but as long as you delivered, will keep coming back, keep recommending other guys to come and support and buy from you because they know you are very consistent with what you do. Guys, kamba simple. I'm going to do a review of this car so that you guys get to understand why I love the Crown and what's special about the Crown. So I'm going to do a review of this baby here, and yeah, sigisobola. Sigisobola. I know sigisobola. Sigisobola busobozi. One, because never tenure, I step on it. Like it has a lot of stability, it has a lot of power. Yeah. But you guys wait for the video. I'm going to upload it later today. Guys, Kamba Sibles, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. Let me market my business in Zenga Arthur. I do pre-purchase inspection. If you're going to buy a car and you need a guardian angel, you need someone to help you make the right decision, I'm your man. I come with a mechanic, and together we make sure that you get a good car at a good price. I charge a small fee of 450,000 shillings. That money covers 1 day of inspection in the Kampala Central Business District. You go outside the CBD, you pay extra money. And we can search the entire document from 9 a.m. all the way up to the evening. So don't hesitate to support me. Send me your brothers, sisters, daughters, aunties, uncles, judges. Muyombia Maka, Regina Amos, Luke, JFK Arts. I sell trackers also for the car. The day you don't have a tracker in your car, never jibba. That's when you will know that a tracker is cheap. Moses Adams tumuimbise Ivan Nakate Christine Peter Mangeni Petero Ronald Muchwa Juma Ali Paul Sema VIP Divine Tours and Travel Kwikiza Maria Ronald Muchwa Umazi the Bus UG Asha Ronald M Kasendo VIP Julius Ivan VIP Jerishia Motors Joseph Trina Henry Modern Juice Ngabi Matthew Jesty Open Mind Starch Events, Lukenge Jovan, Mulindo Gonzaga, Zach Bariesima, and Lucky Mose. And Abari Mukamori, I don't take it for granted. Thank you very much for being part of the podcast. Wait for the review of the Toyota Crown. I'll see you tomorrow morning in the random car. No. That's Lifestyle Wednesday. May the good Lord bless you. You're coming for the truck, Amina. May the good Lord bless you.